Hello, this is Sonia from Selling Budapest. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a guest. This is Gabor, and I want to have like a quick introduction because I know that you lived in Canada for 21 years.
27.
27 years, and you moved back to Budapest
Back in 2018.
So
6 years ago.
So that's 6 years ago, just before pandemic.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I think it was a great move. Yeah, we like it here, you know. I always love Budapest. I visited many times.
But you were born and raised in Budapest?
No, actually not. But before I left the country, back in 1987, I used to work up here in Budapest on the 5th Circuit.
So you left in 1987. You left in 87 and then you moved back in 2018.
Yes.
And I understand in Canada you did the flipping, right? Like you...
I wouldn't call it a flipping because I was a contractor. So we bought homes and we, renovated it and we sold it, but not very often.
Okay.
What I did, I built homes and I moved into it. We lived there for a few years and then we sold it. But in 27 years, I did quite a bit. So
right.
That way is flipping, but it's not flipping like, every 6 months or 3 months or something like that.
Right, so it takes a little bit more time.
Yes.
And then so you moved back and then you continued doing what you knew best, right?
Yeah.
And previously you sold a home and now you're moving on to your next project.
Yes.
And we are here actually a corner away from your previous apartment.
Yeah.
It must be very interesting for you guys now to hear someone who is actually doing the renovation, and I just wanted to get your idea. I know that I got also invited here to just think it through, like what and how could we renovate.
Okay.
But I thought that maybe this is a great idea if we are bringing along those who are interested, because we have many questions about like what is the market like, what do you feel, what are the opportunities. So first of all, how difficult for you to buy an apartment in an excellent location? We are on the 3rd floor. The windows are facing the street. And we are next to Basilica.
Yes.
So I would like to understand like how difficult it is for you to find a place like this.
If you have way too much money and you don't care about that, then it's easier. But because, properties in Budapest quite highly priced, right? Especially the ones which need to be renovated because people wants to renovate it. So for me, it's always a difficult task to find something in a good location, not on the 1st floor, but at least the 2nd or the 3rd, and get somewhere close to something. So location. Right. It's not easy. It's not easy to find on a proper price. So that's kind of difficult. Lots of digging.
Lots of digging, and connections and everything.
Yeah.
So the size of this property is what?
78 square meters. Yeah.
And you are looking to move walls here.
Yes. Well, this is going to be totally almost like tear down. Of course, I cannot tear it down because the building collapsed. But take all the walls out, most of the walls out, and just redesign the whole floor plan.
Would you know, like right from the beginning, like which wall, for example, you can move?
Yes, we generally knows, but what I do, I always call a specialist who has the access to get into the documents with the city, and they know exactly the floor plan, so he can see what the original plans are, and statikus. I'm not sure how they call it in English. It's an engineer, structural engineer. Who's going to take a look at this. He's going to come next week. And before I move any walls, I want to make sure that's happening with the safety in mind.
Of course.
So we don't want to make the building less strength and collapse. Yeah. I don't think it's possible. These walls, most of the time movable, but sometimes these walls on top of each other and they support each other.
But do you know, like if you do such a mistake that you are not calling a professional and you're not listening and you're moving a wall.
That could be a problem.
Is there any inspection or any certificate that you have to go through or get before you're selling the apartment to someone, or how does it work?
No, not that I know of. But what I do, because I want to protect, and it's important for me that if I sell something that's not gonna come back to me, that it's because there's something wrong with it.
We like
no surprise and stuff.
Yes.
So that's why I call him the structural engineer.
Okay.
And I have my ideas, but I always have 3-4 ideas how the layout's gonna be, just in case if it doesn't work this way. There's always. We can make it somehow. There's always something we can do, like we can install beams and posts. So it's possible. Drop the ceiling, stuff like that. There is always something you can do about it, but it is the best to work with a professional who know, well, this is the best way to do. It costs you some money. It's not that much, a few $100,000 for it, like, I don't know, 2,000 Canadian dollar. But then, and you have a paper stamped, so you cover it.
Now, do you also assist for others if somebody is coming from Canada and say like, hey, listen, I already have an apartment or I'm about to buy an apartment and I need some help? Would that be something that you could help out for newcomers?
It is possible.
With your expertise on...
Yeah, I could help them, but you always have to see the apartment. Just chit-chatting about this, it's, just general ideas. We can share general ideas, but when you come into this apartment, when you have an eye for it, and experience, 30 years, then 27 plus, because I used to be in this business way before I moved to Canada. So it is, when you see it, then you can actually tell more, okay, what should be careful, because I don't know if there's gas lines or the electrical fix or
when it comes to
see the roof lines or anything. So
when it comes to these apartments, you're definitely recommending a first-time buyer to come with someone who is already experienced and say that whether this is a good or not so good, or what is that we have to watch out and look for, right? Instead of just blindly walk into and say like, okay, I'm just buying this place, and then later on turns out that what are those cases that you would bump into in an issue?
You see, water is always an issue,
okay.
Right? Floor is when you walk into the apartment, some floors, like you remember the one we just sold?
Yeah.
I had to fix the whole floor. I knew about that at the beginning. I didn't know how big of a job's going to be to fix it, but I knew about it.
Okay.
But many people would come in here and they would say, well, that's fine. It's a little flexibility, and it is fine. But if you want to do renovation, you want to change the layout of that apartment, then that floor is not okay. Then it needs to be strong enough to support the weight. So that quite a bit of extra money, quite a bit.
Right.
So things like this, and water damage so many times happens, you have to check.
And plus you want to make sure that before you resell something, that the foundation and everything is
solid.
How you're selling it's solid.
Yeah.
Because
that's safe.
And safe, I think safe is very important.
Yeah, I think so. It's the most important.
It's most important. Yeah, exactly.
And also, the tricky thing to buying a property in Budapest, especially if you're buying something to renovate, when you look around in here, you see the condition of this apartment is not very nice at all.
I mean, but that's all what I can see. It's not very nice. But
that's all what you see. But at least in here, we know how much work we have to put in.
Okay.
But sometimes apartments are painted, and they can say whatever. We replaced the wirings, we did that, we did this. But who knows?
But you don't have the X-ray eyes to look behind the walls. Whether did you put an extra 60,000 Canadian or USD and really rewired that area, or you just saying that you did. Right? There's no way to check it, so you have to know.
There's a certain way to check things. But it's only so much you can do. So I rather buying these properties because now I know everything has to change.
Yes.
Or buying a property which cost more for me at the beginning, right? Because they said, well, we renovate this.
Okay.
And then it cost me like 10, 15 million more.
Right.
And then I just discovered this is not done, that is not done.
Right.
And by the time you finish it, it costs you more than an apartment like this. It's not always the case, but many times.
And how challenging is to hire the subcontractors? Because
Yeah.
for every step, right, like you hire a different team.
Yeah.
And how
Well,
challenging is that?
You see, it was very challenging. Well, this is why I hired a company I'm working with.
Okay.
So, and he's got the guys. I'm designing the place, and we work this through together. So we walk through this project many times a week. We always discussing, what's going on, what I notice, what he noticed.
Okay.
And
what is your vision here for the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, right?
2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be beautiful as always. We are going to link his previous apartment, so you can take a look at. And of course, we are gonna come once it's completed. What do you think? How long is gonna take for you?
I believe we're supposed to be very close by the end of December. I would say the end of January for sure.
End of January for
Yeah,
sure,
for sure.
right? So we're gonna come back and check in, maybe even during the construction,
For sure.
and see how things goes. If you are discovering something challenging, or you have to reroute the plan, and definitely we're gonna come back and take a look at the final finish. I already know it's gonna look amazing, but you guys. Trust me, it will look night and day. So I think I will let you go. And thank you so much for joining our channel and inviting us. I think this is very, very informative, and I think this is very good. Again, like for people who are thinking to buy into. And if you would like to reach out to me, then you guys can definitely email me, and I'm going to pass Gabor's phone number so he can help you, of course, professionally. That's a discussion between you and him. How would that go? So thank you guys for checking in. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
I'll see you next time.